Welcome to Homegrown, this show where we introduce you to the people and stories that shape the character of life in Arkansas. I'm Dawn Scott, and today we're digging into an enticing buffet of some of the tastiest stories in the natural state. We'll visit Urbana Farmstead, where an organic homegrown vision is changing the face of South Little Rock. Then we'll catch up with one of Arkansas's most well-known local food experts, Kat Robinson, as she takes on a statewide tour of one of my favorite desserts, pie. And finally, we'll visit with a Little Rock chef on a mission to bring delicious vegan Southern cooking to the state. But let's kick things off with a scrumptious look at some small-town staples. Here's Kat Robinson on a road trip to some of Arkansas's iconic dairy bars.
The Oxford Dictionary defines a dairy bar as a snack bar that sells ice cream and other refreshments. Here in Arkansas, it describes a whole selection of restaurants we love. Come travel with me to every corner of Arkansas to seek out delectable dishes and the stories behind the folks that make them on a culinary itinerary of Arkansas dairy bars.
I'm in Hot Springs, where I'm on my way to Bailey's Dairy Treat. It's been in operation in one form or another since 1952.
That's when Butchie's opened on this spot. Over time, it first became the Polar Bar, then the original location of Rocky's Corner. In the 1990s, it came under the name Bailey's Dairy Treat and under the ownership of Leon Morphew. He and his wife still own and operate the location today.
And it's just the two of you.
Yes, just two of us. I came here from Vietnam. 1975, I'm adopted by an American family.
Leon was just 18 at the time. He graduated from Hot Springs High School. He's grown a network of regulars who visit often, some weekly, some daily.
What keeps people coming back?
We just friendly. We treat everybody just like family.
It's also the quality of the product.
I make my own patty, fresh hamburger meat.
How many pounds of hamburger do you go through each day?
About 30, 40 a day.
That's quite a lot.
Yes.
Bailey's is different from other dairy bars in several respects. Its Art Deco building is on the historic register for its sleek, efficient, and gorgeous lines. It also offers something I haven't found on other dairy bar menus.
Real chicken fried rice and beef steak fried rice and fried rice egg roll. I'm the only one who have it. My fried rice, just for anybody have a chance to try something new.
And then there's the ice cream.
We have a vanilla ice cream only, but we have like banana split, sundae, and shake.
You make your banana splits different.
Yes, ma'am. We make in the cup, not in the bowl. Chocolate, strawberry, and pineapple, beside with banana. They say, hey, Leon, I want 2 cheeseburgers. I say, yes, we know what you want. That's it. I know as long they give me finger like that, I know what they want.
But his best customer is himself.
I love my cook, so I eat everything. People say, Leon, why did you go out to eat? I say, well, my food is good too, so I go to somewhere and eat. So I eat my own food here.
His most famous customer once helped out behind the counter.
Bill Clinton, after school, for family.
So he worked with the family
Yes.
at this location.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any idea what his favorite dish was?
Chili cheeseburger.
Yeah, there you go.
For Leon Morphew, there's just one secret to keeping Bailey's Dairy Treat going.
Okay, thank you. See you next time. We work hard, and then when they come, we smile and treat them just like family. Okay.
As long as we remain hungry for neat eats, tasty treats, and good fellowship, Arkansas's dairy bars should continue to thrive. So let's go out there and find ourselves a good dairy bar to share.
Small eateries like this one, or Kat's favorite dairy bars, give a community a warm place to gather and share memories. food and community go hand in hand, and often in the most interesting of ways. For the last several years, Margie Raimondo has led the Urbana Farmstead in South Little Rock, growing and packaging her own organic herbs and vegetables, as well as leading cooking classes to anyone who will come. Margie is adding her own unique flavor to the taste of Arkansas.
Chick-chicks! 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 Chick-chick-chick-chicks! Yeah, I know it's morning. And I have some goodies for you. Here you go. If I had to put it any way at all, I would say my passion, my gift is helping people connect to their food. And it's through heritage. So when I designed Urbana Farmstead, I wanted to incorporate all aspects, from the planting to the harvesting to the distribution. That's what you have here. So urban farm that has the farm and then the market and then also the kitchen. It's all part of one farmstead, which is really important because if you're at home and it's a homestead, that's what you would be doing. When I plant something, I have in mind, what am I going to do with it afterwards? And I try to do 40 to 50% of everything I grow that I actually sell inside the market. The whole property is 1 acre, but we're actually only farming on less than 1/4. We have a pretty good high yield because we're using the space wisely. We do everything vertical. So vertical gardening is where you plant in the ground, or in our case, we're using 5-gallon buckets in some of our planting, and you remove the leaves going up the stem, which forces and causes that plant to grow up. And then you stabilize it with a string, and so you have really less ground you're using, but also it keeps away the bugs, it helps you for watering. So there's a lot of really good reasons why you want to do vertical farming. I think it's important for all of us to know, again, more about our own self and how do we feed not just our bodies, but our souls. So this is part of what I'm doing here. I'm feeding my body, but I'm also feeding my soul. And I try to share that. There's so many people come to my market and they'll walk around my farm and they'll say, wow, I wish I could do this. And I'm like, you can. You can have an entire herb garden in one little pot. You can have a tomato, you can have a cucumber. You can grow things if you want to in your apartment, on your balcony, on a patio. It's very possible to do that. Economically, it's really important for people to grow their own food. Second of all, there's just nothing from a taste perspective. A tomato in a garden that you pick off that vine tastes like a tomato, smells like a tomato, and of course looks like a tomato. Some of the things you buy in a grocery store, they've had to pick them so green that they don't smell or taste like whatever they were supposed to be. So here on the property, you can buy it fresh. You can buy it already canned, which I do for you, or you can come and learn how to can yourself in my canning club. If you want, you can come and learn how to cook it into Parmesan or whatever, because I have cooking classes as well. In addition, I'm trying to teach people value add, which is the preservation piece of it. So I take things in, so the cucumber is an example, and I take it in and I preserve it by making pickles, but I also make relish. But I also use that so I can add that to other things and make a chutney. So you can use those things by creating multiple things out of that one cucumber. It all roots back to Italy. Both my mom and my dad's family are from Italy, Sicily and then Naples. And then they eventually moved to the south part of LA, where I actually grew up. We lived in an urban community with a very small house, and they ripped out the lawns and they planted in this urban house our gardens. So we lived like this. We lived sustainably. Everybody did something. You always learned how to plant and of course harvest, and you'd learn how to pluck a chicken so you could have the chicken. We raised rabbits for food. We absolutely did those things. And I learned a lot of it from that. But then the real training came when I went and lived abroad. I went to Italy and the southern part of Spain for 18 months, and I lived with families. And I did this Farm Away program where I was working in the field for 6 hours, and then I worked in the kitchen for 6 hours. And that's where I really learned the technique, because I learned some things as a child, but this is where it really came into practice. I decided I wanted to go back to Italy and to discover more about my roots. It was really great to be able to see myself and to, look at things that were happening in my life and to say, this makes sense now. I jumped from the farming world of, just trying to live as a poor family, and then I went off and got my education and I went into high tech. Even when I was doing that job, I was always looking for an opportunity to go and take cooking classes and learn other new cuisines. During 9/11, there were a lot of major things that happened to the world, and me personally as well. I had a ticket in my possession where I was supposed to be on the plane that took themselves down. And I decided at the very last minute that to not go on that trip. I was saying, what would life look like now? What should it look like? What does it need to be to fill my soul? One of my friends said, why don't you go check out Arkansas? It's exactly what you're looking for. So I took a car and I actually went through the Boston Mountains and the Ozarks, and I spent a weekend and I fell in love. I said, this is exactly where I want to be. I felt like, hey, I can do this because I've learned the techniques while I was in Italy, and I lived the experience of doing urban farming as a child. And that's what Urbana Farmstead is. Urbana for urban. And then Farmstead is a place where you can grow everything you need to live sustainably. That's where I'm at in my life, is to give back, show people how to use this wonderful produce that they can grow in their yard, or that I'm growing, either one, and just change their lives a little bit.
There just seems to be something magical about Urbana Farmstead and the passion and vision Margie brings to her garden and her classes. Since we recorded that story, Margie's magic has spread well beyond her farmstead. In 2022, Margie wrote and published Mangiamo, a collection of her family recipes. She also produced the award-winning short documentary, The Soul as Sicily. Margie even returned to Arkansas PBS to be featured in our own full-length documentary, Dirt, which is about sustainable farming practices. Clearly, the tastemakers of Arkansas are keeping busy, and none more so than Elnora Wesley. As the owner and chef at the Little Rock Eatery House of Mental, Elnora is forging her own culinary path. She spoke to Arkansas PBS's Big Piff about what she affectionately calls grandma-style vegan soul food.
Now let's get one thing clear. Food over everything. If I had my choice, every episode in this series would end with me getting fed. That's why I'm speaking with Elnora Wesley from the House of Mental. She easily became my favorite guest. Yeah, I said it. Now let's get into it. Look around and I'm still here. I celebrate. 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 Celebrate what a brother done. Celebrate what we about to come from. Celebrate those that love to hate, mug upon their face, but they ain't about none. I celebrate.
People don't pay much attention to food, but what you eat is revolutionary. Right. It makes you able to stand the next day. All the pressure you have on, a lot of pressure in life comes from just not eating right.
And how would you describe the House of Mental?
Grandma-style vegan soul food restaurant.
Grandma-style vegan soul food restaurant. Okay,
Yes.
I like those adjectives right there. So let's break that down. First, of course, the biggest one, why vegan?
For one, there aren't very many vegan options out here, so we needed one. And then more so for health purposes, especially in the African American community, a lot of diseases that we have are preventable, so.
And you feel through food and nutrition, we can help monitor and keep a hold on those.
Through nutrition, yeah, they're preventable.
Gotcha.
So that's why the choice was vegan.
And just to be clear, veganism is defined as abstaining from any and all foods derived from animals.
In terms of cooking, with the people in your life who ushered you into cooking, or who were the biggest influences, even maybe before you were vegan?
Well, my mom can cook. So you get your seasoning usually from your mom. And food is about knowing how to prepare it, but, it's mostly about the seasoning, how you season it. So my mama could cook, she could season, so I got it from her. She got it from my great-grandmother, and I just take those things that I've learned and just veganize it.
It's important that we prioritize. People who know me know my life is FOE, food over everything. So let's talk about some of your specialties real quick.
We got the cauliflower chicken wings, and that's usually with greens and yams. People
about
love that, mac. We have chimichangas, they've been a new favorite.
Let me stop you real quick. So, because you mentioned those foods, but like, how do you make good vegan macaroni and cheese? Like, how do you go ahead and make that step? So I've had macaroni and cheese my whole life. Is there like a secret that you could share? Like, or I don't want you to get away with the special
Make
seasonings.
sure if you can use nuts, use cashews. Put them in there. It adds to the richness of it. So when you're making your vegan cheese, use the cashews if you can. And when you play with enough vegetables, you'll figure it out. Yeah.
So cauliflower chicken wings, greens, macaroni and cheese, what else?
And then we got Reggie spaghetti.
Reggie spaghetti.
Reggie spaghetti, it's just regular. You know, because at first I started making it and I would use the green noodles and everything, and the customers would come in and be like, I just want some regular spaghetti. I'm like, okay, you don't want nothing too healthy, huh? You just want regular spaghetti.
Right.
This is the cheese. Go ahead and just pour it into our mac. Yeah, the basis of it. There we go, mac and cheese.
Food over everything.
Food over everything.
Can you break down what we got going on?
All right, what we got here is an example of a vegan mac. No cheese. Mac, no cheese.
And those are the ingredients, I'm guessing. Gotcha.
Yeah, the main ingredients in it. Cashews, potatoes, carrots, lemon, onion. You have your spices and seasonings, garlic.
Gotcha. What do we have going on over here?
And here, then, this is your department, your nacho.
Gotcha.
Nacho, you're gonna fix. And we have a Rotel style cheese dip, all vegan.
Okay. One other thing that I've heard so much about these yams. So,
Yeah.
gotcha.
The yams are a house favorite.
So I'm just gonna get a little sample of a few things. Is that cool? All right. For the people. We try them yams for the culture. Moment of truth.
Moment of truth.
There's cheese on it.
Hey, no cheese.
That's nuts. I've eaten nuts before. Nuts don't taste that good. That's good.
But when you grind them up with potatoes, carrots, just change the texture, add a few spices.
Nuts out here fronting, boy. Who knew?
Man. Yeah, and we have a lot of people who are lactose intolerant, so that type of mac defeats all that.
The yams, though.
Yeah.
The yams, though. Yeah. So help me out, like what would be the vision from here? Like, or is it just kind of have the restaurant, or do you have like a larger vision or goal?
And right now we're working on a food truck. We'd like to get a food truck so we can be mobile, so we can get the food to the people who need it most, the people who are having these health problems and don't know how to combat them. They don't know that what they're eating is killing them. So we get a food truck, we'll be mobile, be able to reach more people.
Gotcha.
Even though now, kind of like the feel of a brick and mortar, because you can't have your cultural products there. You can't have your music, you can set a scene.
Right.
And I like hip hop, so I want to play music somewhere for people.
Right.
Yeah.
It's kind of creating a whole experience for them. Got you. I'm
Extra.
glad I didn't have to act, because if it wasn't good, I'd have to be like, this is, you know.
Oh yeah, that's just like when people ask me about their mixtape.
Yeah.
Already.
Yeah. Like people asking about music, I'm like, oh yeah, you rapping?
Already.
Yeah, I hear you rapping. You gotta say a whole bunch of general things that don't mean nothing. Oh, this music? I hear your music.
Yeah, that's me. Food and music. I'm not gonna tell a story, so. Mental Sequence is my rap name. So when we're talking about the House of Men, I used to run like a thrift shop, and we call it the House of Men. So the name pretty much transitioned over. It was like, yeah, we're gonna make this work because, hey, good health starts in the mind. Be mental, be thoughtful of what you eat, what you drink, how you speak. So, House of Mental.
Well, no, I'm glad we finally met. Also, I've enjoyed the food that you serve, so I'm really glad that you're here and part of a community. So, thanks for being part of the Glow.
Man, I appreciate you, and thank you for coming. So.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm sold. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, in many Black communities, food deserts and unhealthy teachings have resulted in subpar nutrition. This has negatively impacted our health and life expectancy at alarming rates. Now, I'm not gonna say I'm going fully vegan, But I will say Honora inspired me to make better choices with my food. Plus, if it always tastes as good as the House of Mental, that glow is forever appreciated.
I would not have thought vegan mac and cheese was possible, but Elnora and her team at House of Mental are resetting expectations and delivering on their vegan soul food promise. So Kat Robinson is back with something a little more slice of life. She toured the Arkansas Pie Trail in search of the tastiest pie in the state.
I'm Kat Robinson, and I preach the gospel of Arkansas food.
No.
Really?
No, it is not.
For more than a decade, I've been traveling the state,
Good morning.
searching out our culinary roots and every great little restaurant and food story I can find. What I've discovered is that Arkansas has a passion for pie.
Well, it's 6 o'clock in the morning, and it takes every minute. We are chasing the clock every day.
Its proprietor, Charlotte Bowles, has gained a reputation for creating some of the most beloved pies in the South. She, her daughters, and her extended family of employees begin baking before sunrise 5 days a week in this packed kitchen.
We make all our pies homemade, so we have a lot to do.
Charlotte's regularly offers caramel, chocolate, and coconut cream pies. Other pies, such as egg custard and lemon meringue, are baked on particular days.
I made 37 pies the other day.
We're in Charlotte's kitchen, and it smells phenomenal. She's currently working on putting the meringue on the chocolate and coconut meringue pies. As great pies are coming out of the oven, it is just truly remarkable. And then there's this pie, and this pie is singular around the state. I've never found another one like it. This is a caramel meringue pie. It is a burnt sugar custard pie, and it is utterly to die for.
You want chocolate?
The shop only opens for lunch, and by 11 each morning, customers are waiting. Some are locals, others come from further afield, drawn in by tales of great pie.
They will get here, and of course they want to get the pie first.
Order the pie first. Yeah. If you don't, it might be gone.
Everybody's worried about getting their pie. I can see them looking in here, and they will go like, when's my food going to be there?
Chicken salad on wheat.
And then when they see their food coming, oh, brighten up like you wouldn't believe. I had no idea. I never even thought about having a restaurant. I just wanted a little pie shop.
Why Keto?
Well, they like the pies. Where I'm at out here, they have to come from everywhere to keep my business going, and they do.
And she treats us all like we're her family, and we truly love her, and she loves us. And I think people can feel that when they come in here. We're all like one big family.
What do you think people remember about you and about Charlotte's?
I wanted them to experience something that is kind of been lost. They come in here and have dessert and come to the kitchen and tell me, sometimes they're crying and then I'm upset because they found something that was just like their mother's, you know, just like their mama's. And I get satisfaction out of that, and they get a blessing out of my cooking.
Their recipes, handed down for generations or created with a special pinch of talent and love in their own kitchens. We're glad we made room for pie, aren't you?
What an incredible tasting menu of Arkansas culinary creations. From Urbana Farmstead's do-it-yourself cooking classes to House of Mental's vegan cuisine and all the dairy bars in between, our table overflows with the taste of Arkansas. And that's it for this episode of Homegrown. Thank you for sharing your time with us. And please take a moment to appreciate the people whose hard work has gone into making this show. See you next time.